Welcome everybody, Pro Spartan Gamer here, another course design video, and we have finished our fourth course on 2K PGA 23 or PGA 2K23, and this one is called the Ruins of Sparta. Every single hole has a stone ruin around them. This one has taken probably the longest of any course so far. So many rock formations and things. I'll just do a little pan around overview of the plot of land. So we've got river running through it and lake as well. It's on the delta theme, the same as we used for the Battlefields of Sparta. Really like the way the land forms when you cut into it and you put rocks. I think it works well with this. For this sort of theme that we've got here. Anyway, I'm going to quickly whiz through it, and then it's going to be published for you to get on and play it. So it's a mixture. I was going to do a par 3 course, and then I thought it's going to be difficult to get the variety in a par 3 course. So we threw in a few drivable par 4s and a few par 5s, but you haven't got anything ordinary on here. It's not your average 450 yards driver 7-8 iron into the green. It's going to be a lot more about, if you don't go for it on the drivable par 4s because the wind's unfavourable, then it's all about position, because you can get into trouble if you just crack and go and you won't have a shot because there's elevation shifts, there's tears from old amphitheatres and all that sort of thing. So you start off here on the first. We've got a little nod to the Spartans with a little Spartan statue there on your right on the tee. Across the river, and then there's a little watchtower there that would have been there, and then a nice green. Most of the greens have got 4 different pin positions, some only 2, depending on what I felt like. The greens shouldn't be too bad, but there is some with some shaping on them, some tiers, one thing and another. So position on the green near to the flag should give you a fairly comfortable putt, but if you're further afield it might be a little bit more tricky. So nice starting hole. Planting on this one, sunken trees. Elm is the main tree we've used on this one, and then a mixture of grasses and bushes sunken in. Again, no grandstands, no proper buildings. As it is, it's the Ruins of Sparta. So lovely opening hole. Really like that one. Really got a good feel to it. There's lots of wildlife also around this course, so look out for mooses, crocodiles, butterflies, ravens, eagles. They're all about. Another little nod. We've not got nods all around of these statues, but there's a few scattered around. And this one's a tricky little shot. I'm not going to go through all the distances and everything. Some of them are quite similar. You don't really know. I mean, you know if it's going to be over 200 or it's going to be like 100 and only a micro par 3 100, obviously. But sometimes when you do mid-range par 3s, you're not really sure. You might design the green first and approximately where you're going to tee off from, and then when you set it in there, it then gives you a yardage. And I did look at the scorecard, and bizarrely, 3 of the holes are all saying they're all 153 yards. So I don't think when you actually come to play them they feel like that, because there's different elevations and stuff. So you see there, we've got 3 pins right at the front, so that's going to be the harder place probably to hit as you're coming over that embankment there. 1 at the back, which would be probably an easier one, but you have got a tier on this green. There's Mr. Moose just chilling there in the sun, having a look at what you're doing. So that's the second. Nice big remains of a ruin there. I don't know what that one was. Just on the side of a hill there. And the third, probably one of my favourite holes for the way it looks from the tee. So we've got a ruin here on the right, a little garden in there as well. It's grown in another watchtower, I suppose. We've got another nod to another spot in there, just on the left. But the way you come in on the angle, some nice plant in there. And this green looks lovely the way it's shaped in. I think it's really pretty hole. Just 1 bunker at the front there, but lots of problems. A few lone boats left from days gone past. And again, 4 pins on this one. Lovely hole that. So we start off with 3 par 3s, and then you've got your first choice really of what you want to do, the 4th. So this one, I think from memory, it's about 300 yards. Safety in numbers is here, and obviously you want to make sure you're further enough over here to get a shot into the green. No real traps there, quite an easy shot really. Just don't, just get it right. Or you go over this other watchtower and you try and land on this green, which has got quite a few undulations, as you can see. Slopes off into the river or into the water hazards, bunkers either side. Risk and reward. Play up here and leave yourself an easy chip. Good chance of a bird maybe. Or go over the top of the watchtower, take your chances on a dodgy green and see whether you can get an eagle. And as you can see, there is an eagle there, or a raven or something flying past. I think that's a raven. Arr, arr. It is a raven. So that's the first par 4, risk and reward hole. And then we've got this nice old sea bridge that's leaning in as it's aged, going across here. And we start getting a bit more of this sort of planting where they sort of built surfaces out across, and another little watchtower there, and it really starts to become a lot more built up, as you see around the course in a minute. Lovely one this, the 5th. Pitching over, longer par 3, I think it's 230, something like that, 235. Again, a couple pin positions, few ravens flying around. And then the first of the par 5s down through a little bit of a, I don't know what it was, an avenue leading to something in the days gone past, a few pillars, a bit more manicured this one. This is a tough hole. In play testing, I've never played this one well. You need to avoid that bunker at all costs on the right. It does suck in from a way out as well, that's be warned, and you don't want to be too close to this fringe. So position is all key here. I think, really speaking, you want to land around where my cursor is. A little bit short there, that's about 250, so maybe like a 4 hybrid or 90% freewood or something off tee. You won't reach the green on this par 5, it's a big one. And then you're looking to shape one across to this landing area here, and again, anywhere here really where those 2 eagles are back here ain't bad, or in between these 2 bunkers if you're willing to take a chance. Just don't blind yourself with that tree in the middle. But again, extensive planting here. It's taken absolutely ages, this course. All of these have been individually planted, no multi-select planting on this course at all. All these reeds in the river, everything. There's a crocodile. There's quite a few of them scattered around this course, so go careful. This leaves you a shot into another nice green around another ruin. Quite a few of these greens are surrounded by rocks, so if you miss, you're going to get a bounce, so you've just got no idea whether it's going to be good, bad or indifferent. Again, 2-tier green, big tiers on this one. Some of these tiers on these green are quite steep, and just be warned, if you're a long way away and it's offering you full 100-foot putt, you might be better off looking to chip up onto the top tier or something, because sometimes the putt won't make it. Yeah, it's a fair drop. Some people on the TC tours and that won't like that. They'll be moaning it's too much of a drop, but I mean, I'm not, it's the course that I designed. It's a fantasy course. It's not going to ever be on the tours, is it? So that's the way it is. A few more boats, lovely outlook. Look at the outlook. I mean, so pleased with the way this course looks. I think it looks absolutely stunning. I know, maybe I'm biased because I've designed it, but I do love this rock with this delta theme. We've obviously used the same rock near enough everywhere because it cuts down on the memory and that. And then we've got a real funny sort of hole there. It's the 7th. It's 316 to the green, but you've got lots of tiers. You've got a couple like this. So you've got one tier here, you've got another tier here, and then you've got the green. It's uphill. Doubtful you'd make it, but maybe if you've got the powerhouse sort of set up for your golfer and the wind's behind you, you might have a chance. But you've got to think where you want to land. Not a great depth of fairway there. So if you land there, you need to stop it pretty quickly because you don't want to be up against this rock chipping over there. Might be better just chipping up onto here somewhere and having a longer shot in. Those are the choices that you've got to make, and when you play it a couple times you can change your strategy. So we've given you quite a lot of decisions to make on this course, as most of our courses do. I like for you to be thinking about it rather than just bash and go. So again, loads of planting here in amongst the rocks. I think it, well, like I said, I like it. If you don't, then tough. Again, tough little green, top tier, 1 pin. So the replay value on this would be quite high, I think, if you wanted to play it again, because there's 4 different pin locations and different ways to play most of the holes, I would say. That's what I've gone for. Again, stunning piece of design. I think that looks absolutely beautiful. And then we come round to the 8th. 8th is a short hole from memory. Yes, it is, right alongside the river. And back onto some other holes which we won't show you yet. Again, nice T formation, nice rock formation all the way along sort of the coast here, or whatever you want to call it. Different planting, some red bushes in amongst the green. A few mountain goats situated up there on the left having a look. Really small green. This one's the smallest green on the course, as you can see. Tiny little green, all about, it's only 130, so you're going to be a wedge in the hand, or at best a 9-iron if the wind's against. And tough, all about hitting the green. Challenging little hole, but you know if you get on the green you can have a chance of a birdie. So that's the 8th. Where's the 9th? They do fairly run around here, and the 9th is a big hole. You may be able to reach this. This is a par 5. It says over there 419 yards to the green. It probably is as the crow flies, because the green's over there as you're looking straight ahead. But we've got rock emplantment all around here, all individually planted. Got another little ruin here on your right, another little set up there with some rocks, a few mooses looking on. If you can get, again, if you've got a big drive in you and the wind's behind, and you can get to where that 9 is and let it feed down here, down this slope which I've put in for that purpose, you've probably got a chance of reaching the green in 2. Because from around here, you're around the 250 mark, as you can see. From up here, if you finish up here, you've got 300, and it's going to be, then becomes a free shot par 5, and it's all again about getting position. You don't want to be too far down here, in around here, perfect for your second shot, and then you've got a lovely shot into probably an old amphitheatre, old abbey or something, some ruin. Might be an old church. Over this rock emplantment again, formation, a few boats again being left stranded from days gone by, and loads of crocodiles here feasting. There's quite a few there, and some more boats in the sand, little marsh area here. Looks really nice, I think. And then this green is a tester again. Top tier first, hole 1, a couple of others being scattered in there. And again, this is another one that if you're right back here, it's quite steep to put up over there. Wanted to make it a runoff, wanted to make it a challenge in some of the greens. Nice bit of planting in around that one. The rocks look so natural. Like I say, I do love the rocks on this Delta theme. I think they work really well. And that's another nice looking hole when you look back across where you've come from. I get the trees out of the way. Look at the rock formations and that. And there's a waterfall you can see in the distance, which is a hole we haven't come to yet. So the whole course sort of wraps around here, and you can see it all really. And then we come round to, where are you? It's up, I know we're up here teeing off for the next one, but I can't find it now. It's not that one, the 10th. This is the 10th. So we come back round now to the 10th, and this is one of my favourite holes on the course actually, for the way it looks. So obviously there's an old hill fort going up the top here. What we've done, we've planted in round these ridges with rocks, and the green is cut in that top one in amongst some planting. Really nice plants here, a little bit more manicured. So this is fairway here, this bit. This isn't, this is rough. So again, from the tee it's 290 uphill, wind and shaping and a little bit extra topspin, you might have a chance of making it. If not, it's up to you whereabouts on this fairway you decide to go. Go too far, you'll run out of fairway and being amongst here. Fairway narrows, you've got this sort of rocks in this bit of a bunker. Probably looking to play a pitch shot and try and hold it, because you don't want to be too close to the rocks. Another of these holes, it's a thinking man's course. So you've got quite a nice shot in from here at the length of the green, which is a kidney shaped green. Again, there's 4 pin positions, so worth replay as well. We've got some really nice planting amongst the rocks and that here. Just so you know, like, I mean, it doesn't matter, I love doing it, but this hole was probably nearly a day's work, with all the rock planting and the bushes and everything else, and sculpting the land and all those sort of things. So there is a lot of time gone into this. Now we go around to the 11th, another risk and reward. This is definitely a drivable par 4, but there's lots of risk with this one. It's about 270. You can either play around here and leave yourself a nice shot into an island green, or you go over the rocks, which really do start taking it into it now. There's loads of rocks here, as you can see, and there's your green. We've only got 1 pin position on this one. We might throw in another one front edge before we publish it. Could be worth doing, actually. And there you see the shot from the fairway is a lot easier than coming over that rock embankment. And then this rock embankment, I just come up and show you. Look at the scale of this. This takes in holes 12 and 13, and you know, look at the elevation we've put in, and all the planting of the rocks and the trees and the bushes in amongst it. There you are, you see it here. Really, really nice how it's come together. I'm really chuffed with the way that looks, I think. And then we've got the 12th, short hole, quite a short hole this one, 140, 150 yards maybe. Again, tough little green to hit, waterfall in the background. Another par 3, like I said, there's 9 on this course. We have got 4 pin positions on this one, and this green is pretty flat. You can see there's hardly any movement on this one, so it's a good chance really of a birdie on this one. Get near it. We might add a couple more undulations in that half. It looks a little bit too flat. And then we've got a little bit of a moat coming out here with this waterfall crashing in. Built up garden or whatever it was all around here. Beautiful setting really. And the 13th is another of these in the hill fort, sort of in the ruins. It's a par 4, just around the 300 mark again. Will you go for it over this? You got bunkers, you got rocks, you got planting, tough shaped green, little undulations in it, bunkers if you run through, and a massive rock behind you, or will you pitch up here, avoiding the bunkers, and leave yourself, well, you know, like 120 yards in really, give yourself a chance to hit it. Another nice little testing hole, par 4, and then we go round, and the 14th is a picture. It's one of my favourites, par 3, just cut in the side of the river again. Little harbour here on the right. Again, lovely planting. Little bit of a watchtower where the trees are grown. A few doe and stag in the background looking on, having a little bit of fun. 2-tier green again. I think the greens need to be a feature of the course. You don't want boring greens all the time. Lovely bit of planting here, a bit of broom and one thing another growing out of the stones where it's been left from the days gone by. That one is, yeah, 150 yards. downhill, so probably be looking at maybe an 8, 7, 8 iron, I don't know, 8 iron, 9 iron, all depends what you've got. And then the 15th feature hole, really one of the nicest looking holes on the course. Spent ages on this one. It's a par 5. Risk and reward is you've got a wind behind you and you've got a fair drive on you. It's 300 yards basically to that front edge, so definitely be able to reach the green in 2 if you can land on this fairway off the tee. You're not going to if you lay up here, really. It leaves you 350 to the green, and it really is a challenging second shot if you're going to take that on. Waterfall here on the left. We've got this big built up, which maybe was an old wall. This is the edge of our plot, really. This is right on the edge of the plot now, so that's probably a defence wall or something, keeping the others out in the ruins. And then from here you've got another pond here built up on the higher ground, well, whatever it is, up high, and then you've got this massive waterfall coming down out of here into the river. And then you've got, we will throw a couple more pins on this one before it's published. Big green, but right up on the top tier, so it's a risky second shot if you go for it. All of this is obviously rough and waste. It's quite a carry from there to there. And then you just scale around and see the scale of this again. I mean, the amount of work that's gone into that, it's crazy. That rock formation carrying on, just a gap from the last one. And then as we scale around, we've got the 16th here, and it sort of tells on to where the 8th and everything was. This is a micro par 3, really. There's a couple of these coming in towards the end. It's not very much distance at all. Just over 120 yards downhill. Again, nice green, cut the other way if you like, so there's not much carry through. Need to try and bend your ball in. You've got a little tier in it that goes down to there. 4 pins on that one. I don't know why we put 4 on that one, but there we did. Nice planting. Nice little ravine there coming down. Little beach area here once upon a time. A few stranded boats and a few crocodiles again to keep you busy. And then we've got a really tiny little 17th, another little par 3. Like I said, there's 9 on the course. A little chip down, looks quite an easy hole, but in play testing I've not always played it that well. Should give you a birdie opportunity, but the green is a little bit testing. And then we come up here to your final challenge, which is the 18th. Again, some might take it on from the tee. It's a long way, but if you could get it to bounce on this bridge, you might have a chance of landing in the castle. So the last hole in a castle with a moat all the way around it. Look at that. Again, planting everything individually planted all the way around it. Took an absolute age, this one, I must admit, sculpting the land. And then we'll zoom out and give you a look at the plot. And there it is. Don't know how many tons of rocks has been used in making the Ruins of Sparta. Quite a few. Give it a go. Be kind. Think about the amount of time that I've spent making it. There might be a few things that perhaps don't work or you get frustrated with, but I would have said this is probably approaching 80 hours work. And it's my 4th course, so don't forget, if you like this one and this is the first one on mine you've played, you might want to try out the Battlefields of Sparta, the River of Leonardus, and the Arenas of Sparta. Don't know when I'll be doing the next one. I might have a little break, I don't know, I have to see how I feel. But this is it, and it will be published later today. Cheers, thanks.